Before the universe grants any desire, it asks a single question, one not spoken in words, but felt through experience. Can your vibration sustain what you've asked for? This is the first law of manifestation, that everything you seek must first find a stable home within your frequency. What many call tests are not punishments, they are calibrations. They are the universe ensuring that your inner state can hold what your outer world is about to reflect. Every desire you send into the field sets in motion an intelligent response. The moment you ask, creation begins, but not around you, within you. The universe will begin shaping your energy to match your request. And that reshaping often feels like loss, delay, or contradiction. Yet it is none of these. It is refinement. I have observed this pattern in every soul who has ever succeeded. Before their vision became real, they faced moments of silence, moments when the evidence vanished and all that remained was faith. That silence is sacred. It is the measure of your consistency. It is life's way of asking, have you truly become what you say you are? The mind rebels against this truth. It says, if I do not see progress, then nothing is happening. But the mind does not understand the laws of vibration. The unseen always precedes the seen. The roots always grow before the bloom. The universe works in stillness first, for only in stillness can it determine the steadiness of your signal. You see, anyone can believe for a day. Anyone can hold faith when results appear quickly. But creation belongs to those who remain unmoved in the interval, the silent space between asking and receiving. That is where destiny separates itself from desire. The test before manifestation is not of worthiness, it is of coherence. The universe is not asking, do you deserve this, but rather, can you stay aligned with it? Every challenge, every delay, every detour is designed to reveal where your energy wavers, not to shame you, but to strengthen you. When you ask for abundance, life will show you your scarcity. When you call for love, it will reveal your fears. When you seek peace, it will expose your restlessness. These are not denials, they are invitations to mastery. The universe mirrors back everything that cannot coexist with your next vibration so that you may release it before you rise. Understand this. The moment you ask, the manifestation begins, but it does not move toward you. You move toward it. The process is not the universe delivering a gift. It is you becoming the version of yourself capable of receiving it. So when life slows, when silence grows heavy, and your prayer seems unanswered, do not despair. The delay is not denial. It is the proof that creation is active. The field is adjusting to your new frequency, testing the strength of your faith before allowing it to become form. In that sacred stillness, the universe whispers, "Show me that you no longer need to see to believe." Those who pass this test never return to who they were. For once you have learned to hold your vibration in the dark, you have mastered the light. You do not attract by asking, you attract by becoming. And every test, every silence, every pause exists for one purpose only, to confirm that you are ready to receive what is already yours.
My friend, I have witnessed countless men and women stand at the edge of their greatest breakthrough, only to turn away because they mistook resistance for rejection. They prayed, they believed, they acted, and when the results did not come swiftly, they concluded that the universe had turned its face away. But the truth is far gentler and far more demanding. The universe does not reject, it refines. When your vibration begins to rise, when your inner state starts to align with something greater, the field around you responds. It stretches you. It asks, without words, can you hold your new frequency when nothing around you confirms it? Resistance is not the universe saying no. It is the universe asking, are you ready to stay in faith without evidence? For what you call delay is not denial. It is adjustment. The forces of creation are rearranging themselves around your new vibration, and that requires stillness, not panic. But this is where most people fail. They begin to doubt. They look for signs that it's working, and in that search they slip back into fear. The moment they vibrate in fear, the process pauses, not because the universe punishes doubt, but because coherence cannot exist where energy is scattered. You cannot manifest from a divided state. You must become what you desire in full. Doubt is the mind's final attempt to control the divine. It whispers, I must see proof before I believe. But faith speaks another language. I will believe until proof appears. Those who understand this live by a higher rhythm. They do not measure their progress by visible results. They measure it by their ability to remain at peace when everything seems uncertain. The silence you fear is sacred. It is the gestation period between the seed and the sprout. Imagine a farmer who plants a seed and digs it up each morning to see if it has grown. He interrupts the process he claims to trust. So it is with you. Each time you doubt, each time you worry, each time you question whether it's working, you dig up your own seed. True mastery is to stand in the stillness of no evidence and know that everything is unfolding precisely as it should. The wise do not rush the river. They align with its current. The impatient believe the universe has turned away, but the faithful know the universe is turning within. Every test of resistance is an invitation to surrender the illusion of control. When life slows down, when outcomes delay, when doors seem to close, ask yourself, what am I being asked to release? The moment you stop fighting, the flow resumes. The field can only organize around still energy. So if your path feels blocked, if the silence feels endless, take heart. You're not being denied, you are being prepared. The universe is not closing in, it is clearing space. Hold your vibration when it would be easier to doubt. That is the threshold between the old you and the one who is ready to receive. And I assure you, when the test is complete, the silence will break, not with struggle, but with revelation. Because the universe does not abandon those who persist, it simply waits for them to remember who they truly are.
Before every manifestation, there exists an invisible interval, a sacred pause between intention and realization. Most people fear this space. They call it delay, disappointment, even punishment. But I tell you, it is none of those things. It is the field of creation adjusting itself to the vibration you have chosen to sustain. Every thought you release into the infinite carries a frequency. When that thought is charged with conviction, it begins to take form. But form requires stability. The vibration that summons must be the same vibration that sustains. That is the test of faith, not to ask once with passion, but to remain coherent when passion fades. The universe, or what I call the infinite intelligence, does not deliver what you occasionally wish for. It delivers what your vibration continuously declares. Between the moment you decide and the moment you receive, there lies a field, a living intelligence that must reconfigure the unseen before it can reflect in the seen.
That reconfiguration is what you call waiting. But you see, this waiting is not empty. It is alive. It is the proof that your request has been heard and is being harmonized. The field must test the consistency of your vibration. For if you ask for abundance while vibrating in fear, the energies cancel each other. If you affirm love while holding resentment, the field pauses. It does not judge, it calibrates. It waits for you to choose one consistent frequency. When people grow restless and change their minds mid-process, they interrupt their own creation. They shift from faith to frustration, from certainty to confusion, and then wonder why the manifestation does not appear. My friend, the field is not confused, you are, and it will mirror that confusion faithfully until your vibration becomes steady once again. To create consciously, you must learn to remain unshaken in the interval, that sacred silence between your request and its realization. The wise do not panic there, they prepare. They do not ask, "Where is it?" but rather, "Who must I become to hold it?" When you reach this understanding, the interval becomes your ally. You stop counting the days and start calibrating your energy. You understand that the longer the delay, the greater the refinement taking place within you. This is the law of vibration in its purest form. The unseen must first align before the seen can reflect. Energy precedes evidence. Faith precedes form. And so, if the universe seems quiet, if your request feels unanswered, do not despair. The silence means the field is reorganizing, that the blueprint of your new reality is being woven. Your task is not to demand faster results. It is to maintain the coherence that allows the process to complete itself. When you can stand in the stillness and remain certain, when your heart no longer trembles between belief and doubt, the field collapses into form, instantly, effortlessly, inevitably. For creation is not a struggle of will, it is a surrender of vibration. The question is not whether your desire will come. It is whether you can hold the frequency of its fulfillment long enough for it to recognize you.
There will come a time, my friend, when the very universe that once seemed to support your dream will appear to turn against it. You will face loss, silence, and what looks like the unraveling of all that you have built. The untrained mind calls this failure, but those who understand the rhythm of infinite intelligence know it as the final examination before elevation. The universe, being both precise and merciful, will always test the strength of what you have claimed to become. When you ask for expansion, it will first show you contraction. When you ask for freedom, it will present the patterns of your own bondage. When you pray for love, it may reveal where fear still resides, not to mock you, but to prove whether your vibration is stronger than your past. Many curse these contradictions. They say, "Why is this happening again? Why do the same pains return?" But life is not repeating itself. You are repeating your reaction. The pattern reappears because the field is asking, have you truly changed, or are you only pretending? Each test is an echo of your former self calling for resolution, and you cannot move into a higher vibration until you bless what once kept you bound. The energy of resentment, disappointment, or despair anchors you to the very frequency you are trying to transcend. That is why the old will return one last time, not to punish you, but to offer you the sacred choice to respond differently. When the universe appears to contradict you, it is giving you a mirror. It is saying, "Show me who you are now." If you react with anger, fear, or urgency, the mirror reflects the same chaos.
But if you respond with calm, gratitude, and faith, the reflection changes because you have changed. This is the moment when many turn away. They declare, "It doesn't work. The universe has betrayed me." But no, the universe is faithful to its laws. It cannot betray what is coherent. It can only delay what is unstable. Remember this, the appearance of contradiction is not the collapse of your manifestation. It is its confirmation. It means the field has heard you and is now purifying your vibration to match your desire. The purification feels like loss, but it is clearing. It feels like silence, but it is preparation. It feels like endings, but it is alignment. If you resist, the test will persist. If you surrender, the test will dissolve. Do not fight what is leaving your life. If it hauls away, it was never meant to stay at the frequency you are entering. The wise man does not chase what departs. He blesses it for the lesson it carried. The universe removes what cannot breathe in the atmosphere of your next level. When everything seems to contradict you, stand still. Feel, but do not fall. Observe, but do not identify. Say within yourself, "This too is part of my becoming." And when you can meet chaos with calmness, when your energy remains steady amidst the storm, the contradiction collapses. The field recognizes that your vibration no longer matches confusion and order is restored. The universe never contradicts truth. It only exposes false alignment. So the next time life seems to turn against you, remember, it is not punishment. It is proof. You are not being denied. You are being refined. The test of contradiction is the bridge between who you were and who you are becoming. Cross it with faith, and what once seemed against you will stand beside you.
Let us speak now of the quietest and most powerful frequency in existence, persistence. Not the noisy persistence of desperation, but the calm, unwavering persistence that is born from inner knowing. You see, most people confuse persistence with insistence. They believe that to persist means to fight, to chase, to demand. But true persistence is not movement, it is stability. It is the decision to remain coherent even when the world gives you every reason to doubt. When I studied the great achievers of my time, I found one thing in common among them all: their ability to remain emotionally steady in the face of uncertainty. They did not allow failure, delay, or ridicule to shake their belief in the vision they had conceived. For they understood that the universe listens not to impatience, but to frequency. And frequency can only be sustained by emotional consistency. Every test of faith comes disguised as stillness. You will feel as though nothing is happening. You will pray, act, affirm, and see no movement. This is where most surrender their vibration to doubt, and by doing so, they interrupt the very process that was working in their favor. The wise, however, do not panic. They remain still. They know that creation does not happen in noise, but in silence. When the universe tests you, it is refining the very identity that asked for more. You cannot hold abundance with the vibration of scarcity. You cannot receive love while carrying fear. And so, life allows these denser emotions to rise, not to torment you, but to purify you. Each surge of doubt, frustration, or sadness is a memory of limitation leaving your system. It is the echo of who you used to be. The greatest mistake you can make during this process is to believe that emotional turbulence means you were failing. In truth, it means you are transforming.
The cocoon is never calm, but it is always sacred. Just as the butterfly is not tested by the chrysalis, it is shaped by it. So too are you being shaped by the invisible tension between who you were and who you are becoming. The field does not rush, and neither should you. Impatience is the language of disbelief. The moment you seek signs of progress, you confess that you doubt progress exists. True faith does not seek confirmation, it is confirmation. Silent persistence means continuing to feel as though your desire has already arrived, even when the evidence has not. It is to live from the state of fulfillment, not toward it. When you do this, the universe no longer needs to test you, because your vibration has proven its stability. Remember, the test does not end when the reward arrives. It ends when the lesson has been absorbed, when the old emotional patterns no longer control your frequency. Once your inner world holds peace without proof, the outer world has no choice but to align. So persist, not with effort, but with coherence. Do not chase what you have already claimed. Remain in the vibration of completion. The moment your mind begins to wander toward doubt, return to silence. Breathe and recall that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Persistence is not the act of holding on. It is the art of letting go without losing trust. Those who master this frequency no longer wait, they embody. They no longer pray for miracles, they become them. The soul that remains silent in faith when the evidence is gone has already passed the test. And when that test is complete, manifestation ceases to be a mystery. It becomes the natural consequence of coherence.
There comes a point on every spiritual journey when you feel close, painfully close, to what you've been asking for. You can almost touch it, almost see it taking shape, and yet it doesn't arrive. This is the moment that tempts most people to surrender their vibration to frustration. They say, "I was so near, and then it slipped away." But my friend, nothing slips away. What you call almost is not failure, it is refinement. When the universe withholds something you feel ready for, it is never because you are unworthy, it is because your energy still carries traces of the old frequency that cannot coexist with what you've asked for. That distance you feel is not rejection. It is simply the remaining space between the person you have been and the one who can fully receive what you desire. The secret to closing that gap lies not in force, but in awareness. The body, being an instrument of the soul, will always reveal where resistance remains. When you feel discouraged, impatient, or doubtful, do not judge these sensations. Observe them. Ask yourself, where in my body does this tension live? Perhaps it rests in your chest, your stomach, or your throat. Wherever it appears, that is the precise location of the vibrational knot that must be released before your desire can manifest. Now breathe, slowly, deeply, deliberately. Inhale and allow the breath to enter the place of tightness. Exhale and let go, not of the dream, but of the control. Continue until you feel a subtle shift, a return to neutrality. That neutrality is not indifference, it is power. It is the still point where the field reorganizes. Creation flows best through relaxed energy. Once your breath has restored calm, remind yourself of a truth that few ever understand. The universe is not denying me, it is refining me. Feel the difference in those words. One contracts, the other expands.
The frequency of refinement carries gratitude, while the frequency of denial carries resistance. The universe always responds to the one that expands. From this place of calm, bring to mind the image of your desire, but not as a distant dream. See it as already completed. Feel the texture of it, the rhythm of it, the atmosphere it creates around you. Don't ask for it to come, become the one who already has it. When you can hold that image without urgency, without effort, you have entered the vibration of alignment. Remember, it is not time that brings your manifestation closer. It is consistency of frequency. The universe does not operate on clocks. It operates on coherence. Each time you fall back into doubt, you reset your vibration to the beginning of the process. Each time you return to peace, you resume the rhythm of creation. The space between almost and manifested is the space of emotional mastery. It asks only one thing of you: to stay steady when the mind demands progress. That steadiness is not passivity. It is magnetism. It is how the unseen becomes seen. So the next time you feel the tension of almost, do not beg for results. Breathe, observe, realign. Remember that creation is not a negotiation. It is a reflection. When your inner state becomes identical to the reality you desire, the external world must follow. The final step is not action, it is embodiment. Do not strive to receive, become the one who already has. That is how the almost dissolves into alignment, not through effort, but through energetic equivalence. The universe does not test your patience, it perfects your vibration. And when the perfection is complete, what you have been waiting for will recognize your frequency and find its way to you, without resistance, without effort, without delay.